Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano, and we're live from Hudson Media Group's North Bergen studio. And we want to thank you for joining us every week for your one-stop shop for sports picks, politics and government chatter, and even some neighborhood restaurant reviews. Instead of going to 3 different channels, you can come here every week for the Pulse on everything you need to know. And why don't we start with our picks with Peter B segment. And as mentioned last week, we have a few new sports insiders in the house. And live in studio today, we're joined by none other than former MLB Network, NHL Network digital host, NBC Sports host, and even News 12 sports reporter. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Mr. Matt Waymeyer, ladies and gentlemen. Matt, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm honored to be here and to talk some sports. It's obviously a big weekend for football.
It certainly is. Let's dive right in because it is championship weekend. And why don't we start with and we're so happy to have you as well. And why don't we start with the NFC Championship game? Of course, those Los Angeles Rams visiting the New Orleans Saints. And an interesting fact, Todd Gurley is only averaging, of course, the running back for LA, is only averaging, for those non-sports lovers out there, he's only averaging about 48 yards per game against top 5 defenses this season in the NFL. And the New Orleans Saints are a top 5 defense, and LA has been 0-2 against top 5 defenses as well this year. So does this cause a problem for LA moving forward?
It would, except for one big X factor. When the teams matched up back in Week 9 and the Saints won that game at the Superdome 45-35, there was no C.J. Anderson for the Rams in that game. He was not a member of the Rams yet. He's gone off the past couple weeks since the Rams picked him up, and now, as if Todd Gurley's not good enough, he's one of the most elite running backs in the game. They got this two-headed monster of Gurley and C.J. Anderson. Anderson's numbers have been off the charts the last 3 weeks, including last week's game against the Cowboys, which the Rams won, obviously, much to my chagrin. Save the hate mail. I'm a Cowboys fan. I apologize. But my team's not.
There's plenty of them in the studio, trust me.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I don't want to get, struck down by a sniper when I leave here.
No, of course not.
It
is
Cowboys
New Jersey.
So. Okay, that's true. Good point. So Cowboys out, Rams in, deservedly so. They're the better team. But Anderson's numbers the last 3 weeks, 66 carries, 422 yards, 4 touchdowns, averaging 6.4 yards a carry. So, again, he was not in that game the first time around against the Saints. He's going to be there now, and that is going to be huge. The Saints, as you said, not just a top 5 run defense, they're top 2. Only the Texans, I think, were better against the run in the regular season in the NFL. So they've got Gurley. His knee's still not quite 100%, but he's getting better. He had 115 yards against a very stout Cowboys defense in their own right last week. So Gurley, Anderson, they've got revenge on their minds. Yes, the game is back in New Orleans. It's a very tough place to play, but I like the Rams' chances here.
You do. But what about Drew Brees, huh? He's averaging 322.1. To be exact. That's better than any quarterback in NFL history since 1970.
Crazy.
I mean, is he unstoppable?
He appears to be, but I'm gonna sound biased here, but if I'm the Rams and if I'm Wade Phillips, their defensive coordinator, I'm going back.
Former Cowboy head coach.
Exactly. It all ties together.
Exactly.
And I'm going back to the Week 13 game in Dallas. It was a Thursday night, and usually Thursday night games are garbage. This one was not. Saints-Cowboys in Big D in Jerry World. The Cowboys won that game 13-10 in large part because they shut down Drew Brees, which is not easy to do. Brees in that game, passer rating 71.6, second lowest of the season. 4.54 yards per pass attempt, lowest of the season. 127 yards, second lowest of the season. The Cowboys shut him down. And look, I'm not smart enough to sit here and tell you schematically and structurally what the Cowboys did. Again, I'm not going to be that guy. All I know is what they did do. The Rams better duplicate that if they want to have a chance against Drew Brees.
So who do you like? Back against the brick wall.
All right. I'm on the spot. You know what? I'm going with the Rams.
You're going with the Rams?
I'm going with the Rams.
Wow. All right.
And look, I know Saints #1 seed. They're at home. They got Drew Brees. They got all these things going. Maybe it's because I watched the Rams beat up my Cowboys last week, but I think the Rams hit a little skid at the end of the regular season. Offense wasn't flowing. Gurley got hurt. The defense has been bad pretty much all year. It's been covered up by the fact that the Rams' offense is so dynamic. But when you still have Aaron Donald, unanimous All-Pro, and Ndamukong Suh on that line, at some point, that defense is going to stiffen. They're going to be
Right.
stout. And I think it's going to come against the Saints. They've got great running backs in Kamara and Mark Ingram. But I call it a gut feeling. I like the Rams. I think they're going back to the Super
Interesting.
Bowl.
Well, why don't we move on to the AFC
do it.
Championship, the night game? Of course, we have those New England Patriots who
Yeah.
are back again.
Eight times in a row.
8 times in a row,
Yep.
exactly. I thought it was 9. You might be right. It might be
8 or 9.
8 or 9.
At
We'll
least-
just
at
say
least
that.
eight.
We'll
Let's
just
say
say
at least
that.
8.
Exactly. Going out to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Now, the temperature was interesting in this game because it was supposed to be sub-zero before
Right.
kickoff, and now it looks like it's going to be close to 0. Do you think somebody has an edge with the temperature being that low?
It's so hard to say because, look, the Patriots experience out the wazoo. They've played in temperatures like maybe not quite this extreme, but they've done it. They've been in every scenario possible. I think if it's going to hurt any team, it might be the younger team. It might be a team with a 23-year-old quarterback, as good as he is, as good as Patrick Mahomes is. Maybe he hasn't played in these types of conditions before. So if the weather is going to be a factor, and I hope it's not going to be, because I want to see these guys just be comfortable and have feelings in their extremities and not be hampered by the weather. I want to see these guys just do their thing in temperatures that aren't brutal. But if they are, it might favor New England.
It might favor New England. All right. And you hit the nail on the head there. You said that you have an experienced quarterback versus, youth, basically.
Both ends of the spectrum.
Both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But their defenses haven't been that solid this year, correct? The Patriots have been up and down, and so have the Chiefs. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the Patriots' defense has been a little bit better than advertised. They're giving up a little over 20 points a game, and that's top 10 in the NFL. The Chiefs, they're about middle of the pack. They give up about 26, 27 points a game. Like I said, 14th, 15th in the NFL, right there in the middle. I don't think either team,
Average. Right.
average, exactly. Whichever team wins this game, it's not going to be because of their defense. I think each team needs their defense to just not be bad and let the offense carry the load, because when they matched up the first time in Foxborough, that was the Chiefs' first loss of the year. They were 5-0 coming in. Patriots won that game 43-40. It might not be that high scoring given the weather conditions, but I don't think we're going to see a 13-10 slugfest or anything.
Exactly.
I think these teams are going to be well into the 30s because both offenses, the Chiefs' offense is better. Patriots are no slouch.
So who do you like? You have the Rams going. Who's playing the Rams, according to Mr. Matt Waymeyer? Who's playing the Rams?
Again, unpopular pick here. I'm going to say both road teams prevail.
Both
I
road teams.
don't know if that's ever happened in conference championship game history. I like New England. I think they got one more run left in them. I think as great as Mahomes is, I think I remember Kareem Hunt, for reasons we don't want to get into, is not going to play in this game because of his whole NFL suspension. That's a huge loss for Kansas City. Obviously played the first time around, made a big difference.
You heard it here first,
I'm
folks.
trying.
Patriots Rams, according to Mr. Matt Waymeyer. Matt, thank you for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
And when we come back, folks, Josh Sotomayor Einstein will be here for our Politics with Peter B segment. So come on back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Introducing the MyJCMC app, powered by Practice Unite. The free MyJCMC app puts the power of healthcare at your fingertips. Go to the concierge for access to referrals, scheduling, and appointments, see emergency room wait times, and get directions to Jersey City Medical Center health locations. Read the latest JCMC news through their social media feed, find a doctor, and more. The MyJCMC app. We belong to you.
Welcome back to the Pulse of Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano, and welcome to the Politics with Peter B segment. Joined live in studio 2 weeks in a row now, and I'm getting a little concerned without a fedora, by Mr. Josh Sotomayor Einstein, our political analyst. How you doing, my man, without this fedora?
It's good to be here with or without a hat.
With or without a hat.
Good. Always good to be here.
I see that. Well, Josh, the new year brings reorganizations on many different boards and many different municipalities all over Hudson County. And whether those are freeholder boards, city councils, boards of education, planning, zoning, you name it, there's leadership changes normally. But I feel like this year, they're not really changing. And a lot of it, and if they do, it's very minor. It almost looks staged in a way. It almost looks like it's politics 101.
Well, this is Hudson County.
So a lot of things are staged in Hudson County, you're trying to say, correct? Why don't we start in Hoboken first? For the fourth time in 7 years, Jen Giatino is now the council president. She basically switched roles with Ruben Ramos, the fourth ward councilman. He was the city council president last year, and now it's Jen Giatino. And we both know that they're part of the anti-administration group, the anti-Bala group, who of course is the mayor. Whoever gets these positions, do you believe that they're calculated? Is just politics 101? What are your thoughts?
It's politics as usual, and it's no surprise that it's switching back and forth between Ramos and Giatino. Both in the past have run for mayor. Both are rumored to be wanting to run for mayor next go around. It just goes with the territory. The mayor didn't win, a majority in the city council, and oftentimes his mouthpieces and ideological foot soldiers, besmirch and take a verbal dump on the council majority. But the reality is that elections have consequences, and they didn't win the city council. So you have to deal with people that maybe you have a grudge with. But government is about learning to work with those people, and it can be contentious, but effectively working on the people's behalf.
And do you think it's checks and balances?
Yeah, I mean that's built into the system. It's better when there's some disagreement. Although in the case of the city council majority and in the mayor's administration, it's really just a personality disagreement and old grudges. Because if we look at their completely horrible agenda to destroy Hoboken that they both have, they agree on everything. It's just that they're both competing to see which one of them can be
A little subjective there, by the way.
the 3-year-old child in the room. And so they bitterly argue with each other and have these feuds. And I'm happy about that, as many people in town are, because it means they can negatively affect Hoboken less than they would if they put their personal differences aside and work together to destroy
Now,
town.
sticking to board leadership, if you look at the county board, Anthony Vanieri of North Bergen, the great city that we're in, he became chairman of the board for the 3rd consecutive term. That's almost unheard of in a long time on a freeholder board. It really, really is. What happened in previous years was the freeholders used to rotate. If you were vice chair one year, you became chair the next year, and so on and so forth. Do you think this is Mayor and State Senator Nicholas Sacco trying to show that he has dominant control among the freeholder board because it's his freeholder?
There's always chest out sort of battling between the little lords of Hudson County politics. But the real question is why do we have a freeholder board? What do they do? What's the value added? What return on our investment does the taxpayer and the citizen of Hudson County get for the freeholder board? So far, we get a couple of parks.
Well, the argument could be that.
Hold on.
Okay,
We got a couple of roads, and we get some services that exist in places that don't actually have county government. And we get a whole lot of debt. So there's no real rational reason to have this layer of government. In many places, in other states, they've gotten rid of the county level of government, and they just do shared services amongst the municipalities, and they're still able to have a county jail and a county police force, or the sheriff's office. In other places, they've combined their municipalities, so everything is run through the county, and the tax burden is that much less, and everything is much more effective. But to have this antiquated system where we have these elected freeholders that probably over 50% of Hudson County doesn't even know exist, it just leads to institutionalized and systemic corruption, where you have these political, lords, essentially immortals, right, like Stack and Sacco, picking who gets to be the freeholder and who gets to be the freeholder chair or president, however it's called. And yeah, there's an election, but it's pro forma because we know the person that's going to win is going to be the one that's supported by the bigger politician.
Now, our good friend, Freeholder Romano of Hoboken and parts of Jersey City.
Good guy.
Great guy. He would, I did call him a friend of ours. He would say that if you look at what the county provides, their services that they're providing, you mentioned it, the roads, the parks, that they're always more maintained, they're always freshly paved, and et cetera. I mean, would you say that the county does do a better job of providing those essential services to the public than local municipalities do?
Well, people used to say that Mussolini made the trains run on time, but that's not actually an argument.
Let's not
in favor of
compare.
Mussolini. I'm not comparing Stick to Mussolini.
I was going to say,
I'm comparing
I hope
the
Stick, please.
compared the Freeholder Board to Mussolini, okay?
Which isn't much better, by the way.
True. But here's the point. The question is could we have all these services much more effectively and at a lower cost without the board of freeholders? And the answer resoundingly across the country in places that they've engaged in systemic and structural reform is yes. We don't need the freeholder board.
Okay. Now, do you believe it matters who's in these leadership positions on these local boards, whether it's Board of Education, city councils, freeholder boards, et cetera?
Well, I think for different boards, the answer is going to be different. So,
Well, let's for example, Chairman Venieri, the freeholder board. I know you just said eliminate it, but
I mean,
it is here, it is an entity. Do you think it matters who's the chairman?
I'd say most of the people on the freeholder board, they're puppets of another bigger Politico. So no, it doesn't matter. They're just sock puppets.
Okay, interesting. What about the city council?
I think the city council, that's where a lot more of our daily impacted local government decisions are made. So I think that's exceptionally important. I think if you look at the elections in terms of the percentage of people that come out to vote, you see that it's more important to the people as well. People understand that their city government is the one that's destroying Washington Street or flubbing the redevelopment of Washington Street. And they're just kind of like, oh, well, the county government has a couple of roads and a couple of parks. Like, do we really need another layer of taxes for that?
Exactly. And it's interesting because, as you know, I was on the Board of Ed for 6.5 years in Hoboken. And whenever somebody wanted, and I was never in a leadership role because I was on the minority for 6.5 years. And like you said, elections have consequences. And, you get these people who say, well, it's still common courtesy, even though you're not aligned politically with your fellow colleague on a board, to receive a phone call. And in 6.5 years, I might have received a phone call once from a person who wanted to take a leadership position. But like you said, elections have consequences, correct? I mean, it's unbelievable.
They can be good and they can be bad. And the most important thing for any elected official, even the freeholders, the school board, is to be mature.
That's it. That's Josh Sotomayor Einstein, our political analyst, here every week on The Pulse with Peter B. We'll be back. My Rana's back in studio.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
Panepinto Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment. Adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panepintoproperties.com. Panepinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Rama Jewelers, located in the Lyndhurst Shopping Center at 413 Valley Brook Avenue, Lyndhurst. Come for all your jeweler needs at Rama Jewelers, where you will find a fine selection of necklaces, earrings, rings, and bracelets. Choose from one of our complete sets, our many signature items, or find the perfect engagement ring. Come on down. That's Rama Jewelers at 413 Valley Brook Ave, Lyndhurst.
Call 201-939-5784 or visit us online today.
Welcome back to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano, and welcome to our Places with Peter B segment, joined by the lovely Mai Rana. Mai, you feeling better?
I'm much better. I'm cold, but I am definitely much better.
Exactly. Those temperatures out there, it can get to you. It's like bone chattering, you know?
Yeah, I'm dreaming of Miami right now.
Exactly. Or like April when it gets a little warmer here.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, so we missed you last week. We're glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
And today you're going to be discussing, by the way, she's of mygoodies.com. That's MAIgoodies.com. And today we're going to be reviewing Ani Ramen, which is located at 218 Newark Street in Jersey City. So Mai, it is on Newark Avenue, Newark Street, which is always busy. So many people going by in cars and foot traffic and things like that.
Yeah.
It's not like the Hamilton Inn, which is tucked away in a corner that we
Right,
spoke about a
right.
few weeks ago. I mean, but it's also like a hip establishment. And we were talking about this before the show, and I know there were some comments on our Facebook page about the place in Montclair, and it is the same owners.
Yeah.
I mean, would you say that this place is bustling at all times?
Absolutely. Every time I go in there, like, you can tell, well, one, it's always packed. There's always a wait. They specifically have a waiting area in the back because they know it's going to get busy all the time. But they have really, really good music. If you're not into like a live, like trendy restaurant, this might not be the place for you. This is really for like a date night. Maybe you're trying to eat some ramen before you go out with your friends and you go get drunk with your friends. But really, really different setting. But I love the restaurant.
That's awesome. Well, and this is how they describe themselves, because I always like to, Google how they describe themselves.
Yeah.
It's a happening destination. I like that word, happening. Love those key words there. For ramen, small plates, and a long list of Japanese whiskey. So you know what I'm going to ask about. I'm going to ask about the alcohol part of their description there.
Yeah.
Tell me how much Japanese whiskey. How much could it be? Could there
Well,
be?
they definitely do have a full bar there. If you're waiting for your table to be set up, like definitely take a look and just basically try what they have there. My go-to is the yuzu spiked lemonade, which is pretty refreshing. I haven't tried too much of their whiskeys. I don't like to get drunk before I eat, but when I do have the ramen, my boyfriend usually likes to get the whiskey.
Okay.
But they do have signature drinks. They have like their signature cocktails. They have really they use ingredients from Japan, like matcha in some of their drinks. Yeah, green tea. They get really creative with it, but it's
Matcha's like so happening now. I ate a
love it.
matcha cookie like recently.
Did you like it?
No.
No?
I didn't like it at
Matcha's my
all.
go-to, yeah. I drink it over
was-
coffee.
Yeah, exactly. And you better be careful with those lemonades, by the way, because those sweet drinks, tend to sneak up on you. All of a sudden, you have like 3 of them, and you're like, you don't even want to eat. You just want to find the closest bed.
Right.
So let's look at their menu here. And it's pretty standard and concise, I would say. I mean, they have some small plates, edamame, shishito peppers, and so on. Then, of course, some bowls. And, of course, their main attraction, which is their ramen, which is by the number.
Right.
And there's only 6 of them. Anything stick out at you?
I usually get the number 1. I'm sorry, the number 2 and the number 6, which is the Ani ramen. I actually stopped by there on Thursday with my brother, and I had the yuzu shio, which is basically like chicken broth, grilled chicken thighs, some scallions, some Chinese cabbage, and basically like a bowl full of flavor. And it was perfect because it was like 14 degrees out. So perfect for today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And was the place bustling when you were there?
Absolutely. We had to wait maybe around 15 minutes in the back. We kind of scoped the area. If you've ever been there, it's like the lighting is really dim. They also, it's just really busy. We had the option to either sit at a communal table, which is just, kind of hanging out with everybody else there, or you can sit in the restaurant setting or at the bar. So there's a couple
Unbelievable.
options.
So look, you can, have a conversation. I love communal tables. I love that. It's like when you go to beer gardens, you
Yeah,
just talk
exactly.
to some random people if you don't really like your friend that you're with. And then I noticed something interesting on their menu as well. And it almost looks like they're taco buns. But they're made out of, do you understand what I'm saying? They're these weird buns. I mean, can you explain?
So steam buns,
Steam buns, thank you. I couldn't think of the word that they used.
Yeah, that's fine. So steam buns there, I could even just go there and eat their steam buns. So they're known for their pork belly steam buns, which comes with pickled cabbage, some miso, some spicy mayo, and basically it's just cooked to perfection. They also have a really popular shrimp one, and there's always specials.
I saw the
So
shrimp one.
definitely check out their specials menu. When I was there on Thursday, it was a pork, a braised pork, a pulled pork steam bun.
Unbelievable, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And again, explaining the bun, it's soft. I'm just trying to get this texture going on because I'm telling you, once you look at the menu, it really looks like you can like crunch right into it.
This one's actually like melt in your mouth, like very smooth. Like the pork belly complements the pork buns, and it's just like a nice sweet savory like flavor when it comes to all of that. Like when it comes together.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. Again, every time you hear it, my mouth is watering. I hope it's not showing on camera here. You know what I'm saying? You spoke about the ambience
Yeah.
a little bit, and I just love when you spoke about like the live music and things. Do they have live music every day?
They don't. They just have a really great playlist. Like I've asked, and they said they have this playlist available on Spotify because that's how good it is. Like it's a bunch of throwback music, really good hip hop, and I don't know, the vibes are just really, really amazing.
I mean, it's a hip place, like
Yeah.
you said. I mean, by the way, I've noticed that a lot of the places that you're reviewing here at Maya's hip. I mean, we were complimenting your shoes earlier in the segment here.
Yeah,
I mean, you just have it all going on, I guess.
I'm a true sneakerhead.
Exactly. They look
Yeah.
great. They look absolutely great. So hours are interesting, and to me, when I noticed the hours, it's almost like very European. I mean, they're open every day, obviously, 11:30 to 3 p.m. Then they close for 2 hours, which, like I said, is very, very European. And then they're open again from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. Every day, like I said. Any good time to go in?
I would say around like 6 or 7. Right after work when you're trying to either grab a drink and then a good meal and just to hang out with friends. Like I said, no matter what day of the week, whether it's the weekend or on a random Wednesday night, there's always people in there, especially during the winter time because ramen is perfect for cold
Perfect,
weather. Yep.
exactly. I'm going back to ramen now. Now I'm really, really interested in this. I mean, I know they only had 6 options
Yeah.
on the menu. What's like the difference between the 6?
Well, they have different like broth baits. So
Is
some of
that
them
what
are
it is?
chicken, some of them
Okay.
are like pork broth based, and then they have different ingredients in it.
And I think you mentioned that. Sorry, I must have not been
Yeah,
paying
no
attention.
problem. Their noodles are also really interesting because they are from a wholesaler from New Jersey. They actually started in Hawaii, but they're made to order. So their ramen noodles are different compared to anywhere else's.
That's amazing.
So really good.
It's as authentic as it comes,
I
right?
think so, yeah.
It really is. So now I feel like Ani Ramen is interesting. It might be easy to compare to other Japanese
Mm-hmm.
restaurants in the area, but it might not be. I mean, would you agree? Is there anything that comes even close?
There are some like different restaurants that serve very similar dishes in terms of ramen around the area, but I would probably compare it to ones in the city like Ippudo,
Yes.
Things that are in New York. But for the same price and the ambiance, if you're in Jersey, you can go there, or they have a location in Montclair, and they're also opening 2 others in New Jersey. So anyone who
that.
doesn't want to commute, they can.
I mean, why
appreciate
go to
it
the
for-
city when you
have it
when
here?
you
Yeah.
have the good food here? Well,
Exactly.
anyway, we missed you again.
Thank you.
Myrana of mygoodies.com. She's here every week, just making us hungry and doing a great job at reviewing some local neighborhood restaurants. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook page and like The Pulse with Peter Bay. And we will see you here next week live at 11 a.m. Thank you for joining us for The Pulse on everything you need to know. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week.